Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, welcome to Industrial Talk. My name is Scott McKenzie, and thank you very much for joining the #1 industry-related podcast in the universe. This is a no legacy thinking zone. You, each and every day, you industry hero, come out and say, why not? What if? You're solving problems. You are bold, you are brave, you dare greatly. You're changing the lives. You're just constantly disrupting in a positive way. You're changing lives and communities. That's why we celebrate you on this podcast. In the hot seat, Matt Mong. He is Vice President, Market Innovation with a company called Adeaca. Adeaca. And boy, I'll tell you, man, we're going to have a great conversation. And I think it's a topic that is really, I think it's happening now. And we're talking about project business automation. We've got a lot to cover. Let's get cracking. Yeah. You know what's so great about this world we live in right now is the fact that people, once again, innovators, innovationists, pushing the envelope, providing solutions that make our lives better, make our products better, and just bottom line, create a resilient business, and it's based off of success. And that's what Adeaca provides. That's what Matt Mong begins to talk about in this particular, and it's short. It's 20 minutes like we always do. But nonetheless, great conversation. You're going to dig it. All right. Now, again, I'm going to be talking about a couple of events, so get out your calendar. It's going to be out on Industrial Talk. Don't worry about it. This is October 5th through the 7th, 2021, right around the corner. Let's get back to normal. This is IoT Solutions World Congress. It is in Barcelona, and they will be focusing on IoT, AI, 5G, digital twin, robotics, boom, quantum computing. That's pretty cool stuff, and it is happening this year, thank goodness. Hope it opens up and all that good stuff. And hopefully, I'll be broadcasting from that location as well and highlighting all of the incredible individuals that are changing the world each and every day. The second event that you need to put on your calendar is the Manufacturing and Technology Show. This is in Cleveland, Ohio. This is November 9th through the 11th. And if you've never been to Cleveland, put that on your bucket list because that is a great town with great people who are just, they love that area. And it is beautiful, no doubt about it. And this event is going to be just absolutely spectacular. And it's going to be in a great venue. So put that down. That is the Manufacturing and Technology Show, November 9th through the 11th. Put it down. It'll be out there on industrialtalk.com, so fear not. You don't have to worry about missing out. Now, we're going to be doing a lot of things. You know that Industrial Talk is about education, collaboration, and innovation in the industrial world. And I believe that that will be changing lives and communities big time. We can do it. And fortunately for me, fortunately for Industrial Talk, we have the opportunity to talk to the very best. And we're going to be cranking out a lot of great programs. We're going to be talking about cybersecurity and why that is important. Big topic, right? In utility transformation, another great topic that utilities got to get on the train, the digital transformation train. It's leaving the station. So anyway, there's a lot of great stuff that's going to be happening at Industrial Talk. So just bear with me because we're doing a redesign of our homepage. I call it Industrial Talk 2.0. Very important. All right. Let's get on with the doggone interview. Matt Mong, M-O-N-G. Adeaca, A-D-E-A-C-A is the company. He is the vice president of, let me make sure. Vice president, he had a change. Market innovation. I didn't mean to screw that up, but anyway, that's Matt Mong. Great conversation. Enjoy. Matt, welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast. I am so honored that you have found time in your busy schedule to talk to our wonderful listeners of this incredible, and I'm not overselling it, incredible podcast. How you doing there, Matt?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Scott.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So let's level set a little bit for the listeners out there. Give us a little 411 on who Matt is.
Yeah, so my background is mainly in marketing, communications, and I've been VP of marketing for several, startups and small companies looking to grow. And my most recent position here at Adeaca is to do the same thing, but going about it a little bit differently, creating our own sort of category for what we're doing. It's a really innovative company.
Because you're going to be the category king on that particular, whatever that category is.
Yeah. So that category is project business automation.
I love it, man. I love it. And listeners, it's Adeaca. That's Adeaca. And it's sounded out like Adeaca. So make a note of that. But we're going to have all of that at industrialtalk.com, so don't worry about it. Don't sweat the small stuff. So we're going to talk a little bit about project business automation. Give us a little background on what that is.
So first, project business automation is about addressing the needs of project-based companies in a single business system. So what it does is it brings all the project processes inside one business system, which is the ERP, and brings it all together so it's seamless and in real time. So that's essentially what it does. And it's for any company that really, visions themselves as a project-based company. So it could be, different types of manufacturing, engineer to order manufacturing, project manufacturing contractors, also the construction engineering companies, even professional services. A lot of different project-based companies are out there. That's what project business automation is for.
What is the problem that you're trying to solve with this solution?
Yeah, so these project-based companies have been operating the same way for decades, which is they take care of the business system in one area over here, and that may have their accounting and their reporting, and if they're manufacturing, it does have some MRP, maybe supply chain, shop floor control, but then all their projects are outside of that. So the project management, their project scheduling, estimating, resource management, analytics, all stuff to do with projects is outside of that, and they don't talk. And so what ends up happening is they start using basically tons and tons of spreadsheets to manage their projects, import and export data, try and consolidate it all, and figure out what's going on as projects progress. And this is the main reason why projects are behind schedule, over budget, and so we're trying to address that by bringing all this project stuff into the business system so it all works together. And as a project-based company, projects drive your business. So they should be at the core of your business system as well. So projects drive your manufacturing, projects drive your construction projects, your supply chain, your MRP, your accounting, everything is driven by the project. And so if you don't have that connected in one system, it's a nightmare. And then that's what these people are dealing with.
The sad part about it there, Matt, is that you brought it up. You said, hey, these have been going on for decades. And that pain has always been there for decades. And everybody has talked about the fact that, hey, I'm having challenges of here and there, but nobody, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why that there has not been more action in an attempt to be able to consolidate and put this all under one umbrella to create, greater visibility in what's taking place in your project. It makes complete sense. Why are they reluctant to do so? What is going on? Why? It just seems like it's a no-brainer. The pain is extensive. Why?
Yeah. So it's interesting. I think there's a couple of different reasons. The first is this is the way we've always done it. It's just a traditional as far as the culture of what they're doing, and they've built up these silos of all these different sort of fiefdoms,
That's true.
Right. You've got your project managers over here, and they have their tool and they love it and they do it this way. And then you've got your engineers over here, and you've got your accountants over here, and your controllers, and they do, their own things in their own way. And unfortunately, that's just sort of how they've grown up. And then when they go out and look for a system, that's how they look. They look, okay, well, we need this, and then we need this, and then they don't look at it all together as one business. And so we're trying to get people to focus on you're a project business, and look at it holistically.
It is. You've got a beginning and an end. And if you're a project business, right, many project business out there that make money off of projects and doing it right and being on budget and on time and all of the metrics that are so important, you would think that would be just the absolute top of the heap when it comes to doing things right. And
right.
But because of the human component and all these little fiefdoms that happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
What it has to be a human. It has to be an education. It has to be a human type of thing to move that ball forward. It's like, that's it. We're done. We're going to go down this road, whether we like it or not, and everybody's going to participate. Is that right? Absolutely.
I mean, the customers that come to us obviously kind of have this realization at some point, to some extent, where, okay, this just isn't working any longer. They've optimized these little silos as much as possible, but nothing more is happening. They get these little incremental, productivity gains, maybe here and there, 0.2%, and it's just not effective to the business overall. So it's about educating people on, let's look at the whole thing and then bring it all together. And that's really going to give you that next, order of magnitude improvement.
Really, the technology is the technology. It is. And it always gets down to people. So this is great. This is wonderful. You've spoken to me. My heart is full of opportunities and joy. Tell us, what do we need to do? What are these actionable points? Let's say we want to begin this journey. What is it?
Well, I think first you need to, somebody needs to be the champion in the organization, whether that's, the continuous improvement person, VP of, the CIO or the CFO. Likely it needs to look at this and look at it as, okay, we need to make a change, because it's going to take a lot of education and in getting people on board with the change, because they're just used to it. So and they have to look at it from a different perspective. Like, we got a lot of customers who come to us and say the CIO or CFO is like, okay, we're going to do this, but then you got you have people that are unwilling, or skeptical, on the lower rungs, and they're like, well, we use this app and I don't know if this is going to do what we want it to do. And then 3 months later, they're like, oh, I get it. Like, it's about the whole company, and we're just, everybody's able to see what's going on in real time now. I get it. So it is an education thing. So it's sort of that mindset of, we're a project business. We need to think like a project business. And what does that mean? Okay, well, then we should look for a project business system, right? So that's how people need to think.
So just for clarification, how do I need to think like a project business? What is that? What does that look like? I know it's not what I'm dealing with today, where it's pain. This is okay, and it's like crazy and nutty. That's not a project mindset. What is that?
Yeah, so it's really about the center, like bringing projects to the center. A lot of companies see themselves as, I'm an engineering company, or I'm a construction company, or I'm a manufacturer first. They see that first. And then they think, but, we do it as projects. So we do need some project stuff over here. So and that's how project management applications have typically grown up. They've usually been used for, internal projects where, it's just, it's something you got some projects doing, you're trying to improve the business, and it's internal, and it's sort of separate from the bottom line, really. But when you're a project-based company, it is the bottom line. The projects drive the business, the revenue, the margin. It's all right there in the project. So the project has to become center, and the way that they think and they approach their business and they approach their systems and how they support their business, they have to think projects first. And then, oh, that's true. I'm a project-based company. I'm a project business. And at the same time, what do I deliver with my projects? That's the difference. So I deliver an airplane, or I deliver a turbine engine, or I deliver steel modular frames. It doesn't quite matter to a degree what the actual product is or the service is. If you do it by projects, you need to think projects first.
See, and it's interesting. You're changing my mindset on that. So I get it. I get it from the perspective if I'm a Black & Veatch or a Kiewit or a Jacobs, and they make a lot of money doing projects. That's what they do. We bid on this. We're going to do this project, and we're going to, build this water treatment facility. Got it. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. And that end is a delivery date, and everything in between is the budget and executing. Got it. I can put my arms around that type of a business as a project business. But I think what you're sharing with the listeners and myself is that even a manufacturer that's manufacturing plastic pieces, whatever it might be, internal to that business are projects. Mm-hmm. I might have a project to optimize that line. I might have a project to do whatever. And from that perspective, I shift my mind from manufacturing to a project, and therefore that optimizes because I have a project mindset, even in those environments. Is that correct?
Yeah, it can be used that way, absolutely, because this has sort of been happening for a while now in the industry that everything's becoming projectized. People are trying to make that shift. I just think the project-based companies where they are delivering through projects, those are the key people that need to think this way, that need to make that shift in mindset, and then the other companies who, they may not necessarily be project-based in how they deliver their products, but they can be if they, think about it the right way.
So when you started talking about these silos, which I understand, and we've all experienced, I know listeners out there, you experience it, you're living it today, by the way. And one of the things that I think is a driver is how do you create a unified process map to make sure everybody knows where they're at and drive the process, drive the system. So there's that, you have to have an incredible conversation around that, and everybody's got to shake their heads and say, yep, that's the process now.
Right.
That's how we do it now,
And that's one of the great things is you systemize the process, and around the best practices of your company. And so it is standardized. You can, and that's part of what, the ERP gives you, and it gives other companies in different industries, like, retailers or distributors or those high repetitive, volume manufacturers. Everything's in one system, and everything talks to one another, and it's all standardized, and that's what gives them huge amounts of efficiency and productivity. And that is what we're trying to do for project business. So you bring your projects inside and into a standardized system. Now you can actually, you gain a lot more control over the process, but you also give it, you're maximizing productivity through that process and that standardization.
All right. So what I hear is that I've got to have the right individual in place to be able to be that champion. I'm going to have to go through the process and agree that we're going to take these fiefdoms, these silos, and begin to bring them together. And we're going to be a project-centric, focused business.
Right.
Now, that's a lot of pain. That's a lot of change. That's a lot of frustration and pushback and all of that stuff. That's why that champion's there. You better have strong shoulders. And then I'm going through this pain. What's the benefit? What am I going to see? I'm already dealing with it. I'm already losing money here, and it's the devil I know.
Right.
What am I looking
so
at?
there's a lot of different ways to measure ROI on something like this. So I'll go through sort of the two. One is obviously the hard costs. So for example, if you're using 10, I mean, we've had customers that come to us and they're using 13 different systems, different applications to do different things: resource management, project management, spreadsheets, scheduling, product lifecycle management, all that stuff, right? And they got all these different systems. Well, if you can eliminate 13 different systems and bring it down to one, like that already is just those hard costs in the licensing, but also the maintenance of all those systems is dramatic as far as cost savings. Now that's one, but the real big benefit, I think, that's even harder to measure is the productivity, the visibility into what's going on, the real-time connections in your business that just speeds everything up and makes it and increases quality of your processes and your delivery. So all that getting into the one system that does that. So for example, we had a customer come to us, and they didn't know they would do very long engagements with their customers, probably 3 to 5 years on average. And they wouldn't know if they made money on that project till 90 days after it was totally complete. And
wow.
And it's kind of amazing that you can operate a business like that. Yikes. Right? So now, with Adeaca PBA, it's real time. They know exactly where their project stands as far as profitability, revenue, everything at all times. And so now they know, what they need to do, how to make adjustments to make sure that they're going to make money on that project.
I would imagine that this creates a business that has greater resiliency, given the fact that we had the pandemic. A lot of people were not in a good position. Now, I would imagine that there has to be that conversation of business resiliency. And this, to me, speaks to resiliency. Now, with that said, I see the value proposition. I understand the need to transform that business and have that conversation. Can I, one, do it incrementally, or is it a big bang?
It depends. Yeah, it can be incrementally depending on where you're at. So, for example, we work off the Microsoft ERP platform. So a lot of times they'll implement us with the platform ERP at the same time, and that's a big job right there. But then it's really the adoption that could be incremental. Yeah. Right. So yes, you've got, like we talked about, you got these different silos, and you can't just say, hey, everybody use it now. Like, you need to focus on one, maybe bring them over, and then focus on the other one, bring them over. There is a whole change management process that needs to happen there.
I like that. And I love that. Yeah, because you want to minimize that frustration. You want adoption. You want to be able to make, that's great, get victories, all of that good stuff. What are the roadblocks?
I think there's a couple. One is when they go and look for these project-based companies, when they go and look for an ERP or a business system, they actually aren't looking for what project business automation. They're looking for
not at all.
They're looking for accounting, right? They're looking for accounting, some expense reporting, maybe some timesheets, that type of thing. They aren't. So the first challenge the roadblock is to open up the scope of what you're looking for, because it's, there is a better way to do things out there. Yeah. So you have to open up that scope, what you're looking for. And then the next challenge is just like I think we talked about earlier, getting that champion and getting everybody on board, getting that buy-in from from the executive level.
Yeah. Yep. That's a common tale with any. As we talk projects, it's a common tale with all projects. It seems like you better have the right champion in place to really push that project forward. All right, let's talk about how we get in hold of Matt. You might be speaking something that's touched somebody's mind and heart and says, I got to get a hold of Matt. How do we get a hold of you?
Right. So just Adeaca.com, right? So just go to Adeaca.com, and we have lots of information, lots of documents you can download as well. We have the Project Business Automation Blueprint, which sort of defines what we've been talking about, gives you a little bit more in-depth view of what PBA really is and what it can do for your company. And then, just reach out to us. We'll engage with you at any level. I mean, even if you're just looking for some information, we're not here. We're here to educate, is what we're trying to do. So that's really what we're trying to do.
That's a beauty. All right, Matt, thank you very much for joining the Industrial Talk podcast and sharing this insights into project business automation. Cool stuff, my friend.
Thank you very much, Scott. It's been a pleasure.
Go team Adeaca. All right, listeners, we're going to wrap it up on the side. I want to make sure that we get the link to the PBA blueprint. That is a opportunity for you listeners out there to sort of root around and look at that particular thing, and also the contact information for Matt and all of the social. Don't come to me and say I can't get a hold of Matt, because I'm going to have it all out on the industrialtalk.com site. Again, thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, listeners, don't go away. We'll wrap it up on the other side.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt, for coming on the Industrial Talk Podcast. Absolutely loved the conversation. Great innovation, great solution for companies that are really project-centric, right? It's a must. Let's remove all of the chaos that can exist within projects, because it's been happening. There's a solution. Adeaca, big time. All right, reminder. Put this on your calendar, October 5th through the 7th. This is IoT Solutions World Congress. You got plenty of time, but put it on the calendar right now. We're going to be talking all things IoT, AI, 5G, and everything in between, highlighting the best of the best at that particular conference. Let's get back to normal. And the second one, the Manufacturing and Technology Show. Boom. That is November 9th to the 11th. Beautiful town of Cleveland. Wonderful people. Wonderful venue. All right. You've got them down. Make it happen. Let's get back to normal the sooner we can. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with people who are bold, brave, daring greatly. You will change the world. Industry changes the world. Thank you. We're going to have another great conversation right around the corner.